buy Mara when this happens. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. And it's super simple. It's not going to get any more simple than this. The opportunity is there. If you don't see it, well, this is a time for you to do so. So, understanding, first of all, right, tariff fears are continuing to be strong, pushing Bitcoin lower, which can push Mara down lower as well. But if you guys remember from the last video, I said it's very possible that this one thing can happen. And now with Bitcoin falling, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So Bitcoin broke this triangle pattern, right? We failed to break up higher. Support right here failed, invalidating the move up to this range right here. So we're going to delete that. I'm going to give you guys an updated range once we're able to somewhat confirm a floor, start pushing up from it, and then we can have a more accurate bullish structure confirmation stage. But as of right now, we're waiting on that confirmation. But this is actually really, really good because it's going to prevent uncertainty by creating a much more healthier setup for Mara to trade off of. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean right now. So tariff fears continue to pull down the market, risk on assets falling, right? Futures looking a little bit weak. Bitcoin looking a little bit weak as well. But this now gives us that second test of the CME gap. Perfect buying opportunity as we continue to dip down lower. As of right now, RSI is quite oversold, right? But at the same time, since we did break below not just this imbalance gap right here that was acting as support at first, pushing up to the top of the resistance on the triangle, now we've broken below the retracement area right here in blue, indicating there is enough volume to push this crypto lower, which will provide us with a much clearer buying opportunity. So as this evening progresses, going into the second week, trading week of March, we can now look forward to picking up Bitcoin, not just retesting the previous low at the CME gap at 78K, but potentially even getting even closer to the actual CME gap at like 77K. So this is incredible because, as we all know, tariffs and such aggressive tariffs is a negotiation tactic. It is all just business. And there's no way 20+% tariffs can be sustainable for a lot of these other countries that exports to the US make up pretty much the majority of their GDP, like more than half, right? So it's not sustainable long term, and this negotiation will make progress, and then that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of this tariff fear start to fade away. And once we start seeing it fade away, money in Wall Street, retail money, all that is going to start flowing back into risk on assets like Bitcoin and a lot of growth assets like Nvidia and MSTR, Mara, so on. And we can start pushing up higher, going up to the next all-time high area up here. This is going to happen very, very soon. But until then, until we have that bullish structure confirmation, we can be very, very confident, at least in my opinion, that as we continue to reach closer to this CME gap, once again, amazing aggressive buying opportunity. And I plan on buying another 10K worth of leveraged Bitcoin ETFs this coming up week because it's just an opportunity. I don't want to miss out. I want to acquire more. So as we continue to come down here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see just, again, these discounted levels cannot be sustained for a long period of time because a lot of the deep value Bitcoin is already being hodled by governments, entities, states, so on, and it's just not sustainable for the prices to be at these discounted levels for long. And we can easily see a V-shaped recovery like right here. And then I wouldn't be surprised because this happens all the time, and it's a big coincidence. Every time we see like super red, deep discount levels out of nowhere, there's like some kind of positive news, positive tariff news, or just something positive that pushes it higher. It's such a coincidence that things like that just happen, and we've seen that happen so many times already. So I'm looking at this as a very attractive move down to acquire more exposure to Bitcoin. But this move down, and this is the primary reason I'm making this video, is Mara, right? I said in the last video, it will make a lot of sense we've been seeing Mara trend up here quite well, and we've been seeing it hold the premium RSI, half of the RSI for quite a bit of time, and we don't have any high volume candles holding above the one extension here at 1577. We don't have any high volume candles, and it's pretty weak within the discounted portions of this green structure. On top of that, this long-term consolidation, not long-term consolidation, this long-term supportive ascending support line, we're above it, but again, no high volume, like really bullish candles holding above it. So this is a weak breakout that can easily be brought down, and not just brought down back to this smaller ascending support line, but I'm talking about brought down potentially, not really finding support at the 120. It is starting to fade away. Instead, finding support where the retracement area in blue shows much more deep discount value. So what I'm trying to say is that now with this Bitcoin dip we've been seeing today right here, and as it potentially comes closer to that CME gap as a second test, we can easily see Mara come down, break the support line like we've seen here, and fall back into a smaller structure, deep value area right here. And again, I always say this: Mara underneath $20 is an amazing buy if you plan on holding on to it throughout 2025, as the bull market will continue to progress as we see tariff fears and interest rates making progress, right? Because we all know jobless claims and all that's really weak, and I don't think tariffs alone, the fear of tariffs increasing inflation, is enough to really keep the Fed in such a hawkish tone. But this coming up week, we do have some inflation data coming out, so we're gonna get a better idea what that structure looks like. And once we get more of that information published, I'll be able to make a much more concrete setup expectation for Mara. But as of right now, with how Bitcoin is trading and how it's gonna looking to retest that CME gap for the second time, in these deep discount levels, I would not be surprised if it holds the dip going into this trading week, which will cause Mara to come down and start breaking into this blue retracement area. I do believe that because it's such an aggressive drop and Mara is becoming much more exposed to Bitcoin, their balance sheet is growing, they're holding more Bitcoin. I'm not saying we're going to find support in this area, but I am saying that I wouldn't be surprised if we break into this area and then come lower to try to retest. I'm not going to draw it out too much. We did have this imbalance gap right here filled previously, but we know that imbalance gaps could be tested a second time. So what I'm looking for this week as Bitcoin retest these deep discounted levels is a break into this retracement areas, maybe some consolidation, slight break below it, and then at that point an aggressive buying opportunity. Because even if Bitcoin drops more, causing Mara to come down below $13, the moment Bitcoin just spikes up to cause a little bit of a retracement consolidation from these discounted levels, we're going to see easily Mara have a big spike up, like we've seen here, big spike up back into the premium section of this retracement area. So that's pretty much just what I'm expecting. I'm expecting Mara to come down, provide again more discount value to open trades or add more to a trade, and then I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks down a little bit below this blue area. It won't last down there too long, maybe like 1 or 2 trading days before it spikes up as Bitcoin does a little bit of a rally retracement, providing an easy potential sell opportunity between $14 and $15. But even the retracement can easily push this back up and start retesting this green structure quite well. So I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it again and super simple. I'm expecting Bitcoin to hold these discounted values going into this trading week. Therefore, Mara, we can easily see it because I've said this before. We're at the premium section of this channel, this upward moving channel, it's about time that it breaks the channel a little bit to consolidate and factor in this very consistent move up. And as it does so, we'll see a more reasonable correction coming down, filling in the rest of this blue retracement area. Strong opportunity once it breaks it before we see a aggressive rally like we've seen back in previous, like not that long ago, to pull it back up closer to $15 once it breaks down below. So again, guys, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes under $14 this trading week. But if it does, it just, the deal doesn't get any better than that. And then soon enough, we'll start retesting these levels above the support line, so we can start to build up on that bullish momentum. But again, tariff fears is a big deal. So even if we do come down, strong potential sell at that 120 moving average, because we're gonna see consolidation within this area as tariffs begin to fade away with time. So I wouldn't be overly bullish and say it's going to break up higher and max out this green area. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits the green area as a second test, but gets rejected once again. So any time this price, in my opinion, breaks down, especially below $15, but $14 due to the current structures and the levels we have, anything under $14, I think it's a great buying opportunity. In the moment it even starts breaking over the 120 moving average, I think it's a good idea to start pulling some profit off the table, because I'm expecting a lot more fluctuations due to, again, tariff fears just kind of being a little bit too strong. So yeah, it's gonna be a red week starting off, but we got to keep a close eye on this structure as we break into the discounted portion and start breaking into that lower $13 range area before it starts retesting the 120 moving average and starts retesting this green structure right here. So super deep value, great buying opportunity below this blue area, and then a good idea to start selling once it starts breaking over the blue area once again. So that's pretty much just my view on it. I think this is going to be a really good, amazing setup, because again, it all comes down to Bitcoin, right? The way Bitcoin is fluctuating. And again, these discounted, deep discounted value areas down here, it's not something that should be overlooked or taken too lightly, these opportunities. So I'm going to move this to the right a little bit so we can get a better idea as going forward, especially during live streams and all that, to get an idea and watch it live as Bitcoin starts to retest the bottom of this red area right here. So right now, short-term bearish, long-term bullish, but throughout 2025. But we're going to get a really good long buy opportunity real soon in Mara as Bitcoin begins to show weakness, retesting the CME gap once again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it made sense, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.